That's the whole reason I started my YouTube channel. What's up, vlog? It's Victoria. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome to today's video. Most of you know I am studying abroad during the 2022-2023 school year. That's the whole reason I started my YouTube channel. I wanted to document that. The last video I made about study abroad was almost a year ago. I just wanted to make an updated video telling you the new plans, how the plans have changed, how COVID has affected my plans, and I also wanted to cover my entire application process in this video, but I'm putting timestamps in the description box below, and then I'll put like a little description of what part of the video it is. You can go ahead and click on that timestamp and it'll take you right to that part in the video. First of all, I want to talk about how I ended up applying during a freshman year of high school, the 2019-2020 school year. The guidance counselors all came into our classes and gave us this big spiel on GPA and transcripts and grades and early graduation. I realized I could graduate a semester early, so I went home and I was like, haha, I could graduate a semester early. And my sister actually mentioned, she was like, you know, you could study abroad or you could do like something else to fill that time gap. I thought that was really cool. So from September of freshman year to December of freshman year, I did so many spreadsheets, just so much corresponding with companies that would send you abroad. And by the end of those couple months, I had a binder full of about 20 organizations that people my age can sign up with. But the biggest issue to me was that they were so expensive. You know, I talked to my parents and I was like, it's expensive, like, I don't know. Yeah. We have a family friend who's in the Rotary Club. Rotary Club is basically an international organization that has clubs individually in different communities, and they basically want to help the community as much as they can in any way they can. One of the ways the Rotary Club does that is they have an international Rotary Youth Exchange program. So of course, I reached out to the family friend and I was like, what's the Rotary Youth Exchange program? I'm interested in studying abroad. I need a little more information. By that time, it was like January of 2020. Some perks of the Rotary Youth Exchange that I recognized just from like a couple weeks of interacting with them. First of all, it is way more cost effective than any other study abroad organization that I saw. It's also got like international partners all over the world, and it's one of the older programs. It's got way more experience, and I thought that would be really beneficial to me. So in January of 2020, I kind of just forgot about the rest of the organizations that I made my spreadsheets on, and I focused on applying for the Rotary Youth Exchange. The plan at that time was for me to study abroad my junior year, which would be 21-22 this year, and then come back for my senior year. So I corresponded with them for a couple months, and then in March, COVID happened. That kind of set everything back a lot. June, I reached out again and I was like, hey, is this still possible? Like, can you get me in contact with a local club? Because the way the Rotary Youth Exchange works is that a local club will sponsor you, and that is how come it's so much more cost effective than most other organizations. I was put in contact with the club nearest to me. When I contacted them, it was June, and they were like, we're really sorry, like, we would love to be able to do this, but we simply can't right now. We don't know how we can make this work, but like definitely reach out to us if things change. Obviously I was bummed, but I understood like, oh, we're in the middle of a global pandemic, but I kept pushing, I kept reaching out. From about June of 2020 to September of 2020, I just kept sending them my academic resume, my transcripts, my community service log. So the person in charge for like my state area, he was like, just apply, finish the applications, and we'll find you a host club afterwards. Because of the way things were with COVID, it was just difficult. Those applications were medical forms, there was an essay I needed to write, a letter to my prospective host families, lots of different paperwork and signatures from like my family and my teachers. In November of 2020, kind of towards the middle, the Rotary Club near me, they were like, okay, cool, we can sponsor you. We feel good about doing that. And so I finally had a sponsor club, and I was able to meet them over Zoom, which was so exciting. December of 2020, they reviewed all the applications, they reviewed the paperwork, they reviewed the passports. In January, we were told to pick our top 3 countries, and then we started having interviews for the application process. I decided to make spreadsheets on every country offered. What I realized was that I wanted to go to a smaller country. I particularly liked the idea of going to Belgium because Belgium has 3 regions in Belgium and just so much culture in one little tiny country. So Belgium was my first choice. I put Czech Republic as my second choice and Denmark as my third choice. Once I picked my countries, I had 2 interviews. I had an interview with my club and a district interview and that's like a bunch of clubs. I did my interviews over Zoom. They went really well. I got my country assignments in February of 2021. I did get my first choice. I did get Belgium. I'm so excited. March, I was still corresponding with my district and my host club. We would do Zooms every now and then. In the very beginning of March, the Rotary Club and the International Rotary Organization, so all the Rotary clubs all over the world, had a big meeting and they had to delay the program. This meant that the program would not be happening for the 21-22 school year, and that was the year that I planned on studying abroad. So obviously I was really upset, but my options were to either, not study abroad or defer my application to the next school year. Deferred my application, and I kind of figured, who else gets to spend their senior year in Belgium? We just kept going with that plan. I agreed to defer my application to the 22-23 school year. Also met with my guidance counselors during that time, and I kind of explained, I was like, hey, this was the plan, but this isn't happening anymore, like, what can I do? And the only option for me at that point was to double up on all of my academic classes. That was last year. It was a lot. May, I was able to meet with my host Rotary Club in person. I went to a meeting, I got to speak to them. It just made me so excited about the upcoming school year. September of 2021, so that is this school year, September 2021, I had more paperwork to fill out, like vaccination cards, updated medical stuff. For the past couple of months, I've basically just been getting updated paperwork in, and then in November, I was able to go and speak to another local Rotary Club. I love getting to speak to the Rotary Clubs because it's just so nice to see that I'm making all these connections with people and how willing they are to help, like, the youth in my area. They offered to help me with a lot of things, just study abroad related. Now we are in January of 2022. Things are falling into place. It's going really, really well. Coming up, I have a February Zoom meeting with the district, and we're going to talk about like travel insurance and how we're getting there. March or April, I should start getting some specific information about who my host families are going to be and when I'm leaving, what my ship out date is. And for those of you who don't know, when I say host families, the Rotary Youth Exchange program functions with 3 host families per exchange student. So you'll stay in the same high school, assuming it's a high school exchange, and you'll live with 3 different host families, because that just gives you the opportunity to A, meet more people, and B, you get to see how different people live in the same area. In August, I'm out of here. But basically, for the past 3 years now, I have been consistently contacting organizations and just trying to figure out how we can make this work. And I'm really excited that it's actually happening now. So, the countdown is on. There's about 6 months until I actually leave for Belgium, and I can't wait to share it all with you. And that's going to be all for today's video. As always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel with the little red button under the video. We'll see you next week for another video. Bye, guys!